Today we're looking at recoloring vectors inside Adobe Firefly. Recently Adobe just announced recoloring vectors inside of Firefly. In this video I'm going to show you some of the things it can do with some examples. It's a lot of fun, so let's get into it. Here we are inside Adobe Firefly. We've looked at text to image in another video, text effects, and now recolor vectors, and we can generate effects. If we scroll on down, as I've mentioned in other videos, there's other things coming in painting, personalized results, text effector, and this one's going to be very exciting too when it comes to vector graphics. But today we are looking at recolor vectors, and we're just going to click generate. And it's quite similar to the other two features in Adobe Firefly. Generate color variations of your vector artwork. We can upload an SVG file here. If you don't know what SVG is, it's a very, very popular vector format extension. And at the minute, it's the only file format that Firefly is accepting. You can upload it or you can drag in here. But before we do that, there's a few examples down here. And unlike the other two features, there's not tons of examples here. We're going to roll over and it's showing you a bit of an example of what the things might change. Coral reefs. So this is the prompt here. You can try that prompt, or soft pastels, or earthly tones. And I quite like this design. It's a little bit wacky. I'm going to try prompt and let's see what it does. You can see here on the right hand side, this is the original graphic and this is what Firefly has turned it into. And straight away, quite nice. It's coming up with lots of different options, earthly tones, and we can change the prompt here from earthly tones to maybe summer tones and just hit enter or click generate. And I don't know if that's looking too summery tones. What about maybe, let's see, 1980s pop. This pattern is a certain 80s kind of vibe to it, and we're going to be looking at a few examples shortly of some 80s thing. And 1980s pop is one of the prompts I use, which I really like. And we'll maybe go back and go into one of these other designs. Soft pastels, I quite like this. Coral reefs. And all these are vector files. I'll maybe try this prompt. And this is more of a picture. You can see up here again on the right hand side, we've got our picture. And this is really, really nice because it's taken this picture and it's actually changed it up quite a bit. Soft pastels. And if we maybe go to hard pastels and click generate just to see what happens here. And yeah, it's still pastel colors, but a bit more bright, a wee bit more vibrant. And if I go back, we'll look at this right-hand side column in just a second, but it's as fun as some of these patterns are, or maybe aren't, we will upload an SVG and I will click on this one called Mr. Donuts. Hey. So there is a preview of our artwork. Describe the color palette you want to generate. And I've already typed in 1980s pop. And that's something I use quite a bit when generating things because you get real vibrant colors. We're going to click generate and look at that. That is brilliant. Number one, I really, really like. So this is our artwork here again on the right hand side. We can click into it and I really like that. I think that's really cool. And if we just hit next, that's okay. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, but I really like that. And if you want to, in the top right-hand corner of this image, we can download it. And the nice thing about Firefly is it downloads the file, but it also saves the prompts you used in that file extension. Beside that, we've got three dots. We can copy the clipboard. And up here is quite interesting. These are the colors or the main colors in the image. And if we want, we can click on this shuffle colors and just wait to see what this does. You can probably guess it shuffles the color palette about. So we can keep clicking and it'll just shuffle things around. That's not bad. That's pretty cool. And we can keep on shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling. Do you remember that song back a few years ago? I'll not sing it. So that's really cool. And if we want, let's see, we'll maybe try and do something else. Ice cool colors. Let's see what comes up with ice cool colors. And I quite like this first one. I'm not sure if it's ice cool recoloring vectors. That's quite mad. Definitely not ice cool, but it's really, really nice. And you can go back and upload an SVG here, or if you're in any artwork, and I'm just clicking into this, you can upload it straight from here. And I will maybe go into something different. And we'll click on this higher and higher because the last file was really more of an illustration, and this here is really some cool artwork. And you can see it here, it's a wee bit muted, and we've got sweets, desserts, Sweet desserts, because that's taking the prompt from the last one. But down here, we've got sample prompts, and I'm just going to click through some of these. Quite orangey looking there. Sandy tones. Some of those are quite cool, although you can see the blues. Too blue, and that one there is really nice. And I quite like that. So these sample prompts are quite nice, and in some of the images you can just see how quick it comes, and that there is quite nice. I know it's a bit brown, but that's not bad. And again, I like this one. And if we shuffle some of these colors, that's very cool. Some of the words aren't as highlighted. I quite like that one. It's a lot of fun. There's so many possibilities. And I'll maybe just upload another SVG to see what we have. Autumn, and this is more of an illustration. Also, you can see our foxes up here. Happy autumn. And some of these colors are really, really cool. And if we scroll down, harmony, when that's the default, complementary, and that's colors that work well together. The colors might work well together, but some of them don't work well together in this picture. That is a bit mad and not quite right. That's not bad, only this here fox seems to be blue, and we can again change up the colors. It's not wanting to change this guy too much, so oh, that's quite nice. That's really nice. And if there's something you don't like, or if you like all these colors apart from maybe the leaves or something, you could download this, bring it into Adobe Illustrator and recolor it that way. So what else will we go? We'll go to split complementary to see what happens. And again, there's some wild designs or some wild colors that don't quite work there. And we'll maybe scroll up to the top, and kids, we'll click on this. And this is more of a logo. You can see it up there. It's quite colorful. You can't untick the prompts here, but you can clear all down here. Faded Emerald City. We'll call it Bright Emerald City to see what comes up. Don't know if it's Bright Emerald City, but I do like these ones with these purple tones. And for something like this, we'll maybe type in Rainbow Unicorn to see what comes up. And I'm expecting really bright, vibrant colors here. And yes, some of these look great. They look like they're Martians from another planet. But this here is very, very nice. And again, we're going to switch up some of these colors. That's really, really nice. And if you don't like these colors, you can pick your own colors down here. We can go for maybe a nice green color and a red and orange, and maybe these kind of colors here. And if we hover over, you can see the palette has changed, and we can change that up by using some of these colors, and we can clear it all again. And we'll maybe go into one final example of 1980s fashion. And this is brilliant for, this is a pattern which can be repeated over and over again, and straight away we've still got unicorn, rainbow unicorn. We'll maybe take out unicorn, click on rainbow and see what happens. Definitely not rainbow, but I quite like this. It's not too far away from the original design. And again, we'll shuffle up some of these colors, and we'll be clicking a few of these. And again, it's changing the prompts down here. Really, really nice. And if I just hit back, and that brings us back to the Recolors homepage, and that is really, really, really impressive. If you have vector artwork, if you want to change the colors up, it does it in absolute seconds. And some of the colors look great. Some of the colors look truly awful. And again, just by hovering over this, you get a sense of what some of the things can be. Certainly for patterns, it's very strong. For illustration purposes, sometimes it's a bit hit and miss, but it does give you options that you probably wouldn't otherwise think about. And it's another fantastic tool to have in your toolkit. If you have vector artwork, if you download it from the internet, or if you make it yourself, bring it into Adobe Firefly, and it'll maybe just generate something that you just weren't expecting or you wouldn't think of. And then if you aren't happy with everything, download it, bring it into Illustrator, but it gives you a great head start, more than a head start. And I'm really enjoying using Adobe Firefly. I think it's more in depth with these really, and the more and more features. We'll just go back to some of the features that's common. Again, I talked about some of these ones. Text to vector is going to be brilliant because we can type in different things we want to see. We then take it into recolor it, and we can do recolors of it. And text to pattern, it's another exciting one. 3D image, extend image that I'm really looking forward to also. You can see there's so many. Adobe Firefly is going to be so powerful, and I'm looking forward to going more in depth with these videos. Like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. There's going to be more videos on Adobe Firefly coming out soon. And until next time, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.